My name is Dominique Mohammed. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Portland, Oregon, and this past year, I've faced and defeated one of the toughest battles that I've ever faced in my life. When I was 20 years old, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 4. I'm gonna bring on fellow cancer survivors to show you guys not only that you can beat any cancer, but that you can beat your zombie, whatever that is in life.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of Beast vs. Zombie. Today I have a special guest with me, Miss Ina Hardy. She has an incredible story overcoming breast cancer. Before we get into it, please make sure to follow the podcast on all platforms at Beast vs. Zombie on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Subscribe on YouTube and Spotify podcasts to see the full videos and stay up to date on new episodes. So let's get right into it. How did you feel? And again, thank you for coming on today.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. So how did you feel? Well, we're going to start from the end in mind today. How did you feel when you finally got the call or the news that you were cancer free?
Oh, I was so excited. I was excited. It took me a few months to get there. My first diagnosis was May 15th, 2017. I was going just for an initial mammogram, as a customer of mine asked me one day if I was sick, and I said no. She says, "Have you been sick?" And I also said no. And she said, "You need to go to the doctor." And I was like, "Why?" She said, "You're sick, and you need to have that checked out." Well, I had no idea what she was talking about. So I was one day taking a shower, and I felt something that was unusual. And so I made an appointment, and 2 weeks later she came into my job and said to me, "Did you go to the doctor yet?" And I was like, "Well, I can't get an appointment until the 15th of May. So she says, "Go, you're gonna be fine. Just do everything they tell you to do." Well, when I went for my mammogram, they did the exam, and then she told me, "We need to talk." And she said to me, from the indentation of your breast, it looks as though you may be in the first stages of cancer, breast cancer. And the initial shock, I just went into tears, because no one in my family had ever been diagnosed with cancer, not breast cancer. And so I just started crying, and my immediate thought was, am I going to lose my hair? And my daughter said, "Mom, you never wear your hair anyway. You always wear wigs." So, and she says, and I was crying, and all I could think was, oh, you hear that people die from breast cancer, but they don't. If you do what you're told to do, you watch your sugar and salt intake, you'll be fine. I was told to see my specialist. My surgeon was Dr. Lynn Duffy. She's a tiny little Filipino lady, and she told me, she says, "Don't be afraid." She goes, "You're going to be okay." And I was still like in tears, and she said, "I want you to first, this is my treatment for you. I want you to first go take chemo first, Then we're going to take a rest. Then we're going to put a port in. And I went from June the 10th, no, June the 20th, I think it was, to October the 2nd, and I did chemo. Every 3 weeks I did chemo. And she says, now we're going to just take a few weeks off, a couple of weeks, then we're going to put your port in. And on November the 9th, I did my breast surgery. And everything came out fine, you know. I'm still living, enjoying my life at my age. I'm very blessed to be here. I don't know what to say except go and get your mammogram. Go and get diagnosed. If you have it or don't have it, just take care of yourself. Also, breast cancer is not all in women. Men also have breast cancer. Little kids are affected with this. It's something that we all need to fight to try to save our lives, you know. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, and so, you know, similar to you, I was pretty shocked when I got cancer as well. And I'm really glad that you brought that up. It's really important to get checked up on. When I got cancer, to give you an idea, I had a lump in my neck, but I had no other symptoms. I was a little tired for no reason, but I didn't really understand why yet. And at the time, I was going to a chiropractor. I had gotten in a car accident prior before. And so I was going to a chiropractor. I thought it was just a knot in my neck. I told him to rub it out for me. You know, I thought it would just be something simple. And he, long story short, he couldn't do it. He sent me to, he said, you need to go see a doctor about this. I can't rub this out. This isn't just your muscles. This is something else going on. I go back, I see the urgent care doctor, and he immediately knows. He immediately knew. He couldn't diagnose me at the time because you have to do biopsies and scans and stuff like that. But he immediately knew. He said, you know, I think you have cancer. And he ended up being right. He was totally correct. And so, you know, I didn't believe him at first. I'm 19 years old. I'm super healthy. I'm super athletic. I'm running around all the time. I feel like I'm in great shape. I'm in college, so I'm doing pretty good. I'm on track with my life, you know, and I get cancer. I'm 19 years old. And it totally caught me by surprise. But like I was telling you earlier, I always say it's one of the best things that ever happened to me for a handful of reasons. And it's definitely perspective. Definitely, I have a lot different perspective. I was already a pretty positive person, but I'm thankful for things, the little things a lot more. I'm a lot more grateful for simple things like waking up in the morning and getting up out of bed.
We take that so for granted.
We do.
Yes, you know.
We do.
I think that, you know, most of us, we're afraid to actually venture or think that we could have cancer. I never would have thought I would have had cancer because I never smoke, I don't drink. I exercise. I used to exercise every day, every morning and every evening. I would do my exercises. So when it hit me, it was like I was totally devastated. Totally devastated, you know. But I try now to give back. I try to encourage people to fight. You know, I have a couple of friends. I have this one friend that says, "Girl, you smile. You're smiling all the time. You have the homeless guys falling down because you just smile at them and they just melt." Well, you never know what that smile could mean to somebody. They never know. I smile on the outside, but I have so much going on in my personal life that you know, you would never know. Because my mom always taught us that a smile and a hello is the cheapest thing you can give anyone. You know, you don't, even, I don't care how much money you have, money can't buy some things, you know. And if you're diagnosed with cancer, it can help, you know, and you should help. You should donate. You should give back. You know, I mean, you throw away money on a lot of things, and that to help save someone's life, to try to find a cure. We're not done with it yet, but we can do a lot if we just give back. If we just help each other, you know, it would mean a lot, a lot. And that's all I can do is be me, be myself, and smile. You know, try to look at the brighter things. Most of my friends say to me, if I have gone through what you've been through, I don't know if I could make it. But I do it with the grace and the goodness and favor of God. That's how I do it, you know. So I'm here to share my story. I hope that some of you get something from it, and you can help save someone's life.
And it's amazing, like you were saying, or like your mother was saying, how far just a simple smile and a hello could go.
Yes.
It's very little things and little ways that you can give back that cost you nothing.
It costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing to just be a nice person. Because again, you never know what somebody is going through. You never know what kind of day somebody has went through today. If you looked at us, you wouldn't know we had cancer.
I mean, no. I was very fortunate. I was very fortunate that they caught my cancer in time. In fact, the day that she told me that I had cancer, she said to me, she said, take 7 to 10 days for it to come back. She says, but I can put a rush on it if you want to know. I'll give you a call. Would you rather be told by email or would you rather be told by a phone call? I said, no, I'd rather hear it. So she called me, and when she called me, I was actually in Phoenix at my grandson's graduation. And we were all getting ready to go, and she called and she said to me, well, Miss Hardy, I have some information for you. She said, we need you to get started on your treatments as soon as possible because you're in the second, third stage. And we need you to start. Can you start tomorrow? I was like, I'm in Phoenix. I go, I won't be back. I won't be back until the end of the week. And this was like on a Wednesday. So I said, I'll be back home by Friday. She says, as soon as you come in, I've already set up appointments for you. I did, like I said, the chemo at the Cancer Center of Nevada over on Twain and on Eastern. And I did all of my chemo there and my blood work. And then I saw Dr. Lynn Duffy every 2 or 3 weeks or something. And, you know, then I did my radiation also. My radiation was there too. I went for 5 days a week for 6 weeks.
Wow.
6 weeks, you know. And on February the 10th, I rang the bell.
Yes.
For cancer free.
I love that.
You
I'm
know.
so happy for you.
You know, yes.
Ringing that bell was so fun.
It was like, Miss Hardy, your turn. And I was like, oh, you know, it's so exciting, you know. And still, I sometimes get a little scared because it can come back, but I know that God is with me. I had something to do. This is my story. This is why I'm here. You know, he wasn't done with me. He's not done with me yet. But, you know, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay.
Yeah, I believe in that too. I believe for me, cancer ended up giving me a lot of purpose. It gave me a lot of purpose in my life. It gave me a lot of motivation. I really believe in tragedy, turning tragedy to triumph, or turning shit to sugar, salt to sugar, however you want to say that, right? Taking a negative and flipping it and turning it into something positive. And that's what cancer has done for me. I was very determined to turn this into something and try and share my story in a way that helped other people. And this was the way that I saw that I could reach the most people possible.
And may I also say that you need a support system. And during the time of me being diagnosed with cancer, I had just lost my oldest daughter.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Which now it's 10 years that she's been gone. And my youngest daughter, can I say?
Yes.
My youngest daughter works for American Airlines, and she was very supportive along with all of her co-workers. They supported her to support me. And I have to give a thanks out to them because they made it possible for her to be there for me. And as a matter of fact, now she's going through some type of cancer stuff herself, but not the same. Not the same, but you know, but like I said, you have to have a good support system. You know, people that care about you, people that want to see that you stand up, you stay strong, and you survive. You survive. It's very important to have people that love you and are there for you. You know?
Extremely important. I don't know what I would have done without the people in my life supporting me. People that I would expect, like my mother, my father, my family, but people that you didn't expect. People that come out of the woodworks that follow you maybe on a day-to-day basis, but you never really get a chance to talk to. People that know of you and really believe in and really do care, but you know, we're all grown now and we have these lives. And then, the people that I always say, this is me personally again, like I said, cancer is one of the best things that happened to me. And for this reason is I really know who's in my corner.
That's right.
And who supports me.
That's right.
And who was just kind of fake support until it really comes down to the come down. Right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You see, you're very lucky that you had family because my two daughters that are now still living, and my grandkids, I have grandkids, they're all I have. And my mother, my father, 4 sisters, 3 brothers, a daughter and a grandchild, they're all gone. So I know sometimes my daughter thinks that I don't support her enough or care, but I never, that song, I never would have made it by Marvin Sapp. I never would have made it if I didn't have her. She was a very, very big instrument in me getting through what I had to do. You know?
And that's the power of other people and how we impact each other's lives. And we don't even know really until, it's sad to say, but until something serious happens, and then you really get an understanding of who's there and who supports you, and then people, come together, and it's a beautiful thing. And I always wish, like the holidays are coming up, I always say I love the holidays because everybody's just happy for no reason, right? And everybody's getting each other's gifts, and everybody's in the holiday cheer. But why does it take the holidays to come around to feel like that?
You're right. Because see, like for me, Christmas, I love Christmas, but Christmas to me is every day. It's giving. You don't have to, I don't have to wait for your birthday, for Christmas, for any special day to give you a gift. I'm the type of person that if I see something that I like for you, I give to you because tomorrow I may not be here or tomorrow you may not be here.
Tomorrow's not promised.
And it is not promised to you. I was raised that way. Don't worry about tomorrow because it's not promised to you. So I live every day trying to be happy, trying to just have a smile and be glad that I woke up today and know that God is real. He makes it all possible, you know. And we're all here for a purpose. We're all here for a reason.
All for a reason, and it's hard for a lot of people to try and understand that reason sometimes. And it's not necessarily for you to understand all the way.
Sometimes it's not for us, it's for the other people. But people think, see, I was always taught that my grandma used to say to us, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. You know, and, you know, like, you just, even though someone might treat you mean or don't like you or, you know, disrespect you, give them respect. You know, don't return what they give to you.
Don't let them make you get out of character,
That's right.
basically.
I won't. I'm serious. You know, so my friend said, girl, how do you keep doing this? How do you keep doing that? I keep doing it because you know what? I have to. If I don't do it, no one else is going to do it for me. No one's going to do it for me. Because so many times I've found that I'm there for everyone, but I've gone through a lot by myself or with just trusting God, you know.
And I'm very similar to you. I'm that friend that if I'm thinking about you, I pick up my phone and I'm like, hey,
I'm gonna call.
I just saw this. Remember when we did this? Or I'll shoot you a text. You know, I'm always hitting up people that I might have not talked to in a couple years or something like, hey, remember when we did this when we were little kids? You know, stuff like that. Like, I'm that friend. I'm always reaching out to my people. I call all my friends on a daily basis. A lot of them probably get annoyed with me because I'm always blowing them up, texting them, calling them, sending them videos, thinking about them. And that's just because I care so much. And I also am an extremely kind of intense person. I'm not like halfway in, halfway out type of person. I'm like all in.
I'm all in.
I'm all in.
You know, I can't be halfway.
No.
You know, people say, girl, why do you do things this way? Why do you do that? It's not that I think that I'm better than anybody else. I just like doing things the right way.
Yes.
I was taught to be a good person and to do things the right way. You know, I don't try to be like anyone, and I don't expect anyone to be like me, because guess what? When they broke this mold, they didn't make another one.
Straight like that.
I know who I am, and I will be who I am forever. I will not change. And most of all, I wouldn't let something like cancer change me. No.
Yes.
No way.
I love
no
that.
way. I love living.
Yes.
And I am the last of my family.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm the last of my family. So I have that to pass on to my grandkids.
Right.
You know, I raised my daughters to try to be good people, be good women. And so far, they've made me very proud.
I love that. That's good. Yeah, I'm a very black and white person. You know, I don't live in any type of gray areas. I communicate like very often. I might over communicate because, you know, I just like to live in clarity. I don't like there to be no type of confusion for no reason. I like it to be super clear so we know what we're doing. I like to plan things out. I like it to be straightforward and simple on both sides. And in today's world, you know, it's easier than ever to communicate. So if you're not communicating in today's world with a computer in your pocket, you know, you just are bad at communicating. It's that simple.
That's simple.
You know, but yeah, I'm very black and white. I don't like to live or do anything in any type of gray areas. I believe, like you said, there's kind of a right and wrong way to do things. And I like to, and that's not saying I know how to do everything, I'm God or anything like that, but I do live, you know, to be a good person, like you said, and to try and do my best, and I'm all in on the things that I decide to participate in and be a part of. Otherwise, I'm not really a fan of doing it if I can't put my all into it, if I can't be my best in that, you know, I just don't have fun not being able to be my best and show up in the things that I commit to, because I feel like that's a bad representation of me. It's a bad representation of the people that taught me, the people that raised me and taught me how to be where I'm at. And, you know, and that's out of respect for myself and all of those people.
Most of all, you have to have self-respect. You have to know who you are. And you have to be real about who you are. No matter how it looks to other people, you have to be real.
Yes.
You know?
And it's hard for people to live in honesty. It's hard because some of that honest space is very hard on yourself. It sucks. It feels bad. And it's something, and if you don't confront it, it's gonna keep getting worse, right? And so it's better, obviously, like the way I think of things that I'm anxious about or fearful about or am questioning, right? I always just really lean into that and attack it. They say the cure to fear is action, right? So I try to, if I have a problem or a conversation that I need to have with somebody or a problem that needs to be solved, I try to get done as fast as possible and not procrastinate on it. Because I don't know, so I read this book, it's called Eat That Frog. It talks about if you were to eat a frog, how would you do it, right? And it basically, it's a book about time management and procrastination. And it talks about if you want to eat a frog, you should eat it as fast as you can and get it over with, right? Because the longer you let it go on, say you eat a leg, but you didn't eat the whole thing, and then you take a break for a couple days or something, you're just thinking about it, you're worrying about it, you're stressing about it, and you're making the problem worse. And that's procrastinating. And so as you procrastinate, you make it worse and worse, and then it doesn't get done. And then eventually you might procrastinate so hard to where it never gets done, right? Opposed to if you would just bit the bullet right at the beginning, you know, it would be all over, and it might not have even been as bad as you're making up in your head to be, you know? So I'm a big believer on taking challenges and confronting and airing out problems and finding those solutions as fast as possible, because that's kind of like your purpose in life, is to solve problems. However you figure out to do that, right, is to solve problems in your way. And, you know, they say to be the most successful person, you have to help the most people, right? And so, yeah, that's how I try to live my life in black and white and try to get things done.
You give with no expectations of getting it back, is
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
You know, you don't do things just to get something back.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the times that you do give, you don't get it back from the person or the people that you help.
Mm-hmm.
But God is always there to make sure that someone is there to help you.
Everything comes around.
What goes around comes around.
I believe that.
Yes.
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that. So getting into, I know you spoke a little bit about your doctor. So how did you feel during your periods of treatment, your cancer, your chemo, your radiation, your surgery? How did you feel about dealing with the doctors, dealing with the nurses, the medical staff during that time?
I was very fortunate because I never got sick, for one thing.
That's good.
I never got sick. And my doctor I love so much. You know, he was so patient, so kind. Can I give his name?
You can say yes.
My doctor was Dr. Prasad over at the Cancer Center on Twain. He is so easygoing, he made me so comfortable that I never felt scared when I was in there with him. You know, when I was talking to him. My nurses were all good. During my treatment, they were very kind. They're very kind over there. Like I said, I was just blessed. That's all I can say.
That's good.
That for a person to go through something like that, I was very lucky. I was just, no, that's not luck. That's just blessed, you know. And, you know, even now, when I go there, they're still kind. Mm-hmm. You know, they treat you with respect. They treat you with a lot of respect over there. So that's very important too. You know, no matter how you might feel like it's not okay, it's all okay.
And that support that's part of the support is your doctors and your nurses and your team, and it's very important to have them to give you the confidence to not be scared.
I've turned down different insurance companies or whatever, because if my doctor was not in that what do you call it?
It's in the network.
In the network, yes. If they're not in there, count me out. No, I don't want it. Right. I don't care. Mm-hmm. You know, I will not change those doctors because I feel like they saved my life. They made me feel like I was going to live. Mm-hmm. They made me want to live. So I keep them in prayer. I'm facing that now where I'm going to have to, the cancer center's not going to be dealing with the insurance that I've been, well, I'll have to pay if I have to pay, but I will stay with my doctor because that makes a big difference. You have to trust who you're dealing with, who's handling you, your body, your life.
Yes.
Yes.
It's very important. Man, I had cancer on and off for 10 years. And so it's very important to have I can't say enough about all the nurses. I had multiple doctors. I had different types of transplants. I had chemo, radiation doctors. I had physical therapists helping me get back after some of these procedures and some of these treatments. So all of that is this huge ecosystem of all of these people and I couldn't, like you said, I couldn't have done it without them.
That's right.
I couldn't have, I don't have the understanding or capabilities or awareness to make myself a cancer plan to beat cancer. You know what I'm saying? So without them, man, like you said, we're blessed because, man, they helped me. And there was times when I wasn't the nicest person. You know, there was times when I really wasn't feeling good, or I was in a tough situation, or something didn't make sense, right? And I needed to show up for myself, or whatever that may look like, you know. And so I wasn't always the best person, but the care system was always able to take care of me and got me to where I'm at now. And man, I wouldn't know what to do without them.
Yeah, Yeah, it's true. It's so true. Like I said, I always kept myself up. When I sit there in the room at the cancer center and I see some of the people, to me, it's like they've already given up. Because, a lot of times people say, "Oh, I love your smile," but I'm smiling because I'm here. I'm still alive. I can still be happy that I woke up today.
It's a choice.
I could have been one of those that didn't wake up, and again, I was very fortunate to not have to have my breast removed.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is fine now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just as sexy as I used to be.
Man, and the mental is so important with all of this, right? Like, I had a basketball coach, I always refer to this, Coach Virgil. When I was young, he would tell me, we played basketball, he was my basketball coach, and he would tell us, 80% of the game is played on the 6-inch playing field between the ears. So he was trying to encourage us to be mentally strong. We're in like fourth grade. He's teaching us to be mentally strong and what it takes to be mentally strong and what that looks like and everything like that. And that really applied during this whole cancer journey. Being able to, like you said, feel the confidence that, like, I'm gonna get through this. I also purposely tried to lead by example with my attitude in this, to also show, like, my parents that were very concerned about what I was going through. My friends, my family, my peers, people from the outside looking in. I didn't want people to feel bad for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted them to feel like, oh, he's going through this thing and he's okay. He's doing just fine. And I did things deliberately. I tried to stay as active as I could. I played basketball during my treatments and hung out with my friends and tried to get as much normalcy as possible while I was still going through these treatments, so that people felt confident in me, because I always explain these cancer battles as war. I always say it's like war, and you need all the energy, all the advantage on your side that you can get. Everything, all the energy, you need all that good juju, whatever you want to call it, right? You need that on your side, and it starts with you. Everything, I always believe that everything in my life is 100% my responsibility, good and bad. And it's on me to take control, to look at the situations and understand what I did and what I did right and did wrong, or assess the situation and see how I could have done it better, because I can't control anything else outside of me, And so that's the precedence and the mindset that I took through this whole cancer journey, and I think it helped not only me but everybody around me to get through this, because they're going through it with me. Like, your daughters are going through it with you.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
This is a good thing that you're doing, that you're putting it out there, letting everybody know that every story is different, But the main story is wanting to fight to live.
Yes.
To get through it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like,
so, to wrap this up, just last question. Now that you've gone through breast cancer, right? What would you tell anybody? What kind of advice would you give somebody that's going through a cancer battle, that's going through a big or small challenge in their life? What would you tell them to help them overcome their challenges?
Number 1, trust God. Number 2, believe and trust in yourself. Know that you can do it. If you fight and you want to live, you can live. Try to always be happy. Just know that every day that you wake up is a good day. It's a battle, and you have to win. Okay?
I agree with that. I agree with that all the way. My father, when I was young, he instilled in me that, you know, kind of like if you believe, you can achieve. You know, and I always believed that I could do anything that I wanted to do, and I could be really good at it if I focus and if I tried hard, I put in the work, I put in the repetitions. I could be good at anything that I wanted to be good at.
That's right.
So I believe in that, and that's the precedence that I took with being cancer as well. And here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are. Cool.
You know? And I hope that someone or everyone gets something from what we're saying. It's just a testimony, just something that we're trying to give to you to fight, to live, and be strong.
And again, Miss Ina and I, we're just normal people just like you, right? And so if we can overcome our cancer battles, you can overcome any kind of challenge in your life, big and small, whether that's finances, whether that's work problems, relationship problems, school problems, all of that stuff, you can overcome and you can show up for yourself. So that's all we have today on this episode of Beast vs. Zombie. Thank you, Ms. Ina, for coming on today and share your story.
You're welcome.
It was really great
for having me.
Yes. And make sure you go and follow the podcast on all social media platforms. Follow on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify podcasts. Make sure you subscribe so you can catch the full videos and stay up to date on new episodes. Also, make sure and please share with your family and friends. Anybody and everybody is going through some type of challenge in their life, big and small, whether they disclose it with you or not. And everybody can find inspiration and motivation from these stories that we're sharing on this podcast. So make sure you guys have a good night, you guys. Be a beast.